means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the
Does that make sense? So you can hear us when you watch the show over on Xfinity Channel 26 or ProView Network's YouTube channel or our Facebook page, the OD and the AM. Lots to do today. Jerry Palm from CBS Sports will be with us. What was the question when we were talking basketball yesterday? Remember we said, well, let's ask Jerry. You remember what it was? Because I was trying to remember it as I was driving in, and I don't remember what the hell it was. We were with Kenny the other day, and we're like, yeah, I don't know the answer. Or we'll figure it out. JJ, weird vibe in the pit last night. So it's supposed to feel a little different when it's conference play. You're coming off of a tournament where, or an MTE, I don't know if it was, I guess a tournament, there are 2 games, 4 teams. And you get games against a Big 12 team and a Big 10 team, Arizona State and USC, right? Brands, names. And you come home, and I don't know if it was necessarily a letdown, but I'm not going to lie, I kind of felt like it did. Playing a conference game against San Jose State after playing Arizona State and SC, you get a crowd. You didn't have crowds in Palm Springs. And maybe because you were 19.5-point favorites in the place, I just don't know that I felt the energy in the place, and certainly not in the team in the first half. And they were down, 12 early on? 13 points in the first half. And found a way to come back. And so, every win's a good win. I'm not going to tell you it's a bad win because I don't even know what that means. I think it's a good win. I think it showed character. I think they had a fight from behind. I think they realized you can't just roll out the ball and look at us and we're here. But it was a weird vibe in there, wasn't it?
It absolutely was. The energy wasn't there from the Lobos. The pit wasn't as popping as you'd expect it to be with the expectations for this team. And then you look up and it's 15-2, San Jose State. And this is kind of the way I feel about the Lobos. I don't know how to feel about this team. Because, they've looked really good against UCLA. They battled in Palm Springs. We've seen them on the road at St. John's. They've been challenged. And you can see some of the flashes. Like when Donovan takes over, as he did in the second half, he's a really good player. But I don't know if this team is even as good as last year's team right now.
Which last year's team was pretty good.
Yeah, but I don't. There's times when I watch this team, and I can't be like, that team is winning the Mountain West Conference.
I haven't watched a lot of Utah State, but I'm going to guess they're pretty good because they keep winning, right? San Diego State stumbled through the first half yesterday, and Fresno pulled away, and they won they won big in second half. Boise State's are good. And there's gonna be games. This is a league play.
Yeah, and when the spread was up to 19,
19.5
catches your attention. It's like they have an edge to them, but they don't. It's an interesting style where they grind and I guess, they say, hey, we're going to win it on defense, but they still give up a ton of points the way they play, just stylistically. So you can't really say they hang their hat on defense. They score enough, even in the offense, and you're sitting there wondering, hey, where's the points going to come from? Where's the shooting going to come from? They score the basketball. So I think this is still a strong competitive team, but I've struggled to kind of figure out like what I think. All right, this is Lobos this season are second best team, third best team in the like where they could be because they've challenged themselves. This non-conference schedule is what you want to see to go through these challenges, to answer these questions, and you get a conference win, and you can't complain about that. It's just I haven't been able to really figure out what I feel this team is this year.
I think they're evolving still. And here we are. It's December 5, right? So you're a month into a 4-month season. And I think there's an evolution. And I think a big part of that evolution is something you saw last night. And something I remember telling you about when we came back from Vegas for the UCLA game is Filip Borovichinen. And he's coming off the bench. He was starting, and I remember last night they played without C.J. Nolan, who's got a thumb injury. So Braden Appelhans went into the starting lineup. I mean, you would think, okay, the obvious play then is to put Borovichinen into the starting lineup if Nolan's not there. He was starting before, and I actually really liked Braden going in there. Now, he didn't have a great shooting night. He was 1 for 5, and he only played 18 minutes. Borovichinen played almost 31 minutes for you last night. He gave you 9 points. He gave you 7 rebounds last night. And 3 assists? I think his energy, and I love his defense on the perimeter. He's a 6'8", 6'9" guard. That was the one thing I told you the first time I watched them. I love him on the perimeter because he's disruptive defensively, and I'm going to believe he can start to score, and you're starting to see that a little bit, right? He attacked the rim a little bit yesterday. I think if there's a X factor, wild card, whatever it is that evolves and makes them, whatever better next level, whatever you think as they get better. Every team, well, not every team, every good team is better in February than they are in December, right? Every good team that you've watched in college basketball, as you go through a season, you say, wow, here we are, you're hitting February, here comes March. They're better in February than they are in November. And I look at 2 guys on this team that I think are going to help them get there, and maybe 3, but specifically, I like what Atiki brings coming off the bench to give you another big. And I think Borovichinen might be starting to find a comfort level. I'm sure it hurt him not to be in the starting lineup, but to be a 6 man and play 30 minutes in a 40 minutes game, there's no shame.
It comes down to also like who's closing.
Yeah, 100%.
You could be a starter, but I've seen plenty of starters, and I know coaches that start players and they just start them to get minutes early, but they're not closing with those players.
I mean, the majority of teams have that guy.
Yes. To me, I think this is a better role for him because, as Richard Pitino has pointed out, like he's a junior that hasn't played, so he's still trying to figure out himself with expectations, playing Division I basketball on a team that has high expectations. And I think for him, coming off the bench is a better role. It takes pressure off him, and you look at if he can go out there and give you like 8, 4, and 2 just consistently with some pop, like. Yeah,
that was last night, 9, 7, and 3.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you get those kind of stat lines. He's moving the basketball. He's rebounding. Defensively, he's being aggressive. That bodes well to what you said is then you see the pieces coming together. By the time you get to legit conference play, like, then you'll start to see the team go, okay, this is what we expected from the Lobos.
Yeah, I really believe that. I really do. And listening to him in the postgame show with Robert and Hunter last night, I thought that I was listening to a guy who kind of, okay, I'm accepting this role, right? It sounded like it took him a minute to deal with perceived as a demotion, right? And just go, all right, I'm good and I can contribute. And I just think you're watching a guy grow. May there be a step back at some point? Certainly. But I love that piece to it. All right, 505-246-0610 is how to get to us today. 505-246-0610. Emails come in this morning, as they do every morning, at Jeff at sportsanimallabq.com, JJ at sportsanimallabq.com. You can send a text, 505-246-0610. Tweet at JJ at _JJ Buck, or on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. Stephen, get us started. Good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Stephen.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Hey, I have a quick point and then a loaded question. I don't understand the slow starts for the Lobos this year. Maybe it's, I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter if we're home or away, but I'm gonna ask a loaded question, and I asked KT this question on his show last night, and he totally avoided it. But let's just get the elephant out of the room. How much do you guys think all the controversy and the media coverage of the issue, non-issue, whatever it is, the fight on the plane had to do with these guys' performance last night? Do you think the chemistry is messed up? I mean, you have to think something's going on there. I mean, it was a rough week.
So first question, I don't know the answer. I don't know why slow starts, right? I mean, I think, Richard's talked about it, and you don't always have a slow start. There've been a couple games. JJ, I don't know that I think, and Stephen, thanks for the call. Appreciate you. I don't know that I think the noise around it played a big part. And Kenny talked about it. The player who's been accused of being the aggressor played fine last night, played well, right? I don't, and I've seen on social media, CJ Nolan's out. Now we know who it was. You see all that noise on social media? Yeah, okay. Or he had a thumb injury. or he had a thumb injury and couldn't play. No, that can't be. It's too coincidental. Oh, okay. You're wrong. But I don't know. And I heard Stephen ask that with Kenny yesterday. I just don't. But I don't know that.
I think it was more, hey, let's look at the fact that CJ Nolan was out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Let's look at the up and down nature of this team at times. And they got a little surprised by San Jose State and the playing faster than they expected the Spartans to play. The 5 guards in the first half, essentially, they had a 6'6" guy playing the post. They weren't able to take advantage of it, and that's why you look at the minutes, and Tiki only played 5. And I think the Lobos had to adjust. They were probably expecting a slow down game where they were going to push the tempo, and they got shocked in the first half. The noise, yes, it's there, but this incident allegedly happened on the way to Palm Springs, and they played 2 games. And that didn't look like a team in those 2 games that was focused on something else.
Yeah, I just don't, Stephen. But I understand those who think that it did, and okay. But then somehow they came around. I don't, I think when you got a team who, I don't want to say habitually, but it's certainly not uncommon that they have a slow start. I mean, like the UCLA game, they didn't start slow. St. John's, I don't even think they started slow, right? USC, they sure as hell didn't start slow. So I don't know what's habitual with them. I mean, there's been a couple of games. So why? I don't know. Maybe, what if you're going to ask me if something got in their head more or less or whatever, my guess would be, and it's kind
the name on the opposing
jersey. Yes. Yeah, it's kind of what I was trying to say, and then you said it better than I was trying to say. I was going to say Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12, says that the commission or the committee for CFP is looking at patches, not resumes. He's looking at conferences, not the body of work.
Yeah, that absolutely.
It's that concept.
Happens.
Yeah.
Oh, I talk to coaches about it all the time. They're like, yeah, there's some games I don't have to motivate the team at all. Then there's other games you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no. If you roll out and say, hey, there's UCLA, it doesn't matter who's wearing those jerseys. It's UCLA, right? It obviously San Jose State can play a little bit. I understand what their record is, and I understand who they've beaten, but they'd come in on a little winning streak. Does it help New Mexico State? I don't know. A lot of these guys, like I listened to Borovichinen on the postgame show last night. He's like, yeah, I heard about it. He didn't know anything about New Mexico State. So, Stephen, I guess the answer for me would be no, I don't think the noise affected it. I'm going to guess it's really more what JJ was said. It's the name on the front of the jersey, and no matter how much the coaches show you tape, and no matter how much they tell you what this team is, you're like, yeah, whatever. We just went through Arizona State and USC. Can handle this. We're 19.5-point favorites. So, all right, 505-246-0610. Were you there last night? What are your thoughts? The Lobos go to 1-0 in conference play. We'll get through that. Big upset in college basketball and how it might help you and your resume as a Lobo fan last night with Creighton beating Kansas. I want to get into Fernando Lobo's press conference yesterday, the introduction. We got Thursday Night Football tonight. Aaron Rodgers spoke. Aziz Al-Shaair says, I'll be the villain. Football signing day. The Lakers are embarrassed. We got a whole lot of show for you today on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
O'Shea
Would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the Frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
Hey, if you're looking for a gift, and I know you are because, well, it's December 5th. We're all looking for gifts. You're looking for that wow gift, that wow holiday gift, maybe an engagement ring. Maybe it's time to make that move. John Thomas Jewelers is your spot. Anniversary coming up. They are the jeweler, the coolest jeweler in town. In fact, the coolest jewelry store named by In-Store magazine. They're the only 5-star Google-rated full-service jewelry and store in town and the fastest-growing jeweler in town. They're it, man. You'll go there, you'll go, wow, this is different. You don't just stumble upon them at the mall. You want to get to John Thomas Jewelers. It's at 2440 Louisiana Northeast. Suite 310, that's on the 3rd floor of the Lewis University building. It's outside the mall, across the street to the east, right there on Louisiana, south of Manal. They are different. They've got their own state-of-the-art design center right there on premises. John gave me a tour of this. He fixed a piece of jewelry that I had for a long time. I watched him do it right there. They customize rings. They got over 3,000 ladies and men's bridal rings right there to try on. And then they'll create whatever you want. He showed me a picture. Somebody sent him a picture of a leaf, and he made this beautiful pendant out of that picture. It's so different and so unbelievably wonderful. John Thomas Jewelers is your spot. If you're looking for that wow gift, go check them out. It's johnthomasjewelers.com. You can thank me later. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. We got the 12 days of jerseys going on today, correct? We'll do that. We'll give out the jersey today. You want to do it at 8:10 today? Does that work? We didn't do it in the 8 o'clock hour. Does that work for you at 8:10? We got 2 of them to do? All right, let's do it at 8:10 and 9:10. How about that? 8:10 and 9:10 is what we'll do. All right, Fernando Lovo was introduced yesterday as the new athletic director at the University of New Mexico. Big press conference over at the Pit. He talked about a lot of things. Did you see it? I know you and I were here. It was a 10 o'clock press conference. I watched it. Talked to a lot of people who were there. What do you think of him? I mean, look, did they win the press conference? I don't know if they won the press conference. I don't think they lost it. It was a guy. I thought what he said content wise was good. He read his statements and he was good. What he said. I mean, it was a yay, smiley, attaboy press conference. Here's the jacket. Did they win it? I don't know. They didn't lose it, but he said the right things.
Yeah, and I think the messaging is pretty easy right now. Is come in and say you want to listen and learn. He said that a lot. The people get to know.
That's the right answer.
That a good foundation was set. So come in, get the lay of the land, get it all figured out, and then you want to hear, okay, what does he think should be addressed? And you start with the student athletes. Do they have the resources? Do they have what's needed to be successful? Yep. You start there. Yep. Of course, part of that, too, is a connection you have with your name, image, and likeness. Yep. And so you talk with 505 Sports Ventures, make sure that that's strong. And then it's facilities. And what can you do? Because this is a football guy. And he's going to start looking at University Stadium. And can he have does he have the willingness and ability, even fresh on the job, to get people's attention, to do what's needed at the state level, because that's part of the game.
Yep.
To say, all right, we need X, Y, and Z to start moving forward.
Fair to say the honeymoon ends this morning?
Yeah.
It was great yesterday, and he was at the Pit and walked around, shook hands, and smiled and met a lot of people. He probably went home and went, man, I mean, washed his hands a few times because he, put a bunch
I was just looking, and man, I feel just for the family too. I'm like, that's a long day, and that 5-year-old and 3-year-old is being dragged around.
Yeah, who's
like,
this guy? Who's that guy? Like
come
enough,
on,
man. I know, seriously. Here, put more hand sanitizer on, Liam. Look, yesterday had to be just a whirlwind, crazy day. Who was that dude? Okay, hey, remember me? I met you. And sure, great. And now it's get to work day, right? You got, whatever and I think that basketball thing is probably going to get settled here. You may hear something today, if not tomorrow. You talked a lot about football and JJ, I'm not certain. I think that coaching thing is over. I mean, the portal opens on Monday. Your head coach said, I have not interviewed. What did he say? I have not been approached nor interviewed. He didn't say, my people haven't been. He didn't say, I will not interview or will not show interest. I would like, there's a lot of vagueness to that. I'm not certain that's over is what I'm telling you. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yes.
He might be in the midst of that, like, boom, right away, deep end. Portal's open. The names that I'm hearing are going in the portal, man. Hopefully, the portal opens Monday. Hopefully they can hold this thing together. But there's a lot there. But yeah, I think, Fernando's going to have to meet the right people, a lot of people. He seems incredibly pleasant, nice, amicable, personable. I like him. I listened to him in the halftime interview with Robin Hunter. I like him much more in that context, speaking as opposed to standing at a podium and reading. It sounds much more. I like the content's pretty much the same. It just sounds much more sincere, which actually the message being consistent made me feel better about it. Does that make sense? Like when when he was saying it, and look, when you're reading off a prepared statement as opposed to just talking, your cadence is different. But I appreciate that the message was the same. It's just how I received it. That doesn't mean it's right or wrong. I thought the tone was right. I thought the right people were in the room, and onward and upward. Whatever you think about the hire, whether you think someone else should have gotten it or whatever, this is your guy now. And if you are a Lobo or a Lobo fan, you got to get behind this guy and what they're going to do because this is your guy. There are a lot of similarities to what Eddie said back,
Miami,
Florida,
University of Florida.
Yeah. No doubt. Billy Donovan, Urban Meyer. There's a lot of similarities there. I thought. Now let's go to work day. Like yesterday was great, and here's the family, and now, all right, young fella, go to work. and I don't know that there's anything that he said that stood out to me. I'm going to tell you the most personable moment for me was when he kind of started to choke up when he was talking about his family and the support and getting to that point. I mean, anybody who's got family, kids, you get the commitment and the sacrifice that family makes. If you're making some sort of a career journey move, whatever it is, I understand the time restraints in college athletics and what it takes, and the people that are close to you and who you love make quite a commitment. I mean, you're on the road a lot, right? I mean, you were gone for Thanksgiving. You get the commitment that your family makes, right? And so I appreciated that. I thought that was very real, very human. So
yeah, and I think the base, as Lobo fans get to know who he is, what he's all about, and understand he has a strong football background and not going to forget about basketball. We know basketball runs things in terms of the momentum in this community, but to be successful in college athletics, you have to survive in football.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be good at football. The bottom line is, I mean, you just got to be good. And the other piece is going to be because you got a fine line to walk, right? You got a basketball coach who, while he says all the right things and does all the right things, and I'm a big Richard Pitino fan, and I love the way he handles his business. I love his demeanor. You got to take care of that side too, right? He's talked about this place is so special because the love for basketball, right? Steve Alford's talked about being at a basketball school. I've mentioned many times you can be both, man. You and in this day and age, if you're a basketball school, you kind of got to be both. You got to survive, and you're seeing what happens when you're not, correct? And
yes.
You got to be careful, man. You got to make sure you're taking care of basketball. That whatever you do for football does not come at the expense of basketball. Well, we're putting X number of dollars into the facility in the university stadium. Well, I mean, is your basketball coach taking care of it? Are you? What's his needs? What's his want?
Yeah.
Does he need, whether it's a locker room, a weight room, suites, more charters, whatever? Are you taking care of him and his players? Well, we win and they don't. Yeah, man, but we got to get them up to speed so we can continue to give you what you need. And where's the fine line? You got to be really careful as you are establishing the relationship, which he talked about so many times in his press conference yesterday, being so important and holistic approaches and all these things that he talked about. So it's a really fine line as you're trying to establish these relationships. And like I said, I mean, you got a basketball coach who is probably, has been wooed before, and if he wins, he's going to be wooed again, and he's going to win. You got a football coach who I'm certain is being wooed right now at this moment, right? And you got to form a relationship with him and try to keep him here. You get to work, right? I mean, yesterday was the honeymoon, and it sucks, and he knows it. He woke up this morning and he knows it. He went to bed last night and knows it. He took the job, he knows it. I mean, it's eyes wide open what you're jumping into. Now, last week when he took it, he might not have known all of it. And remember when Eddie got here, he used to say, I had no idea. I had no idea what I was walking into, right? Then we had the financial stuff. He had to cut the sports, that whole thing. I think it's a different situation. I think Fernando's walking into a better situation, but it's different. Love your thoughts. You heard him yesterday. You saw bits and pieces, maybe read it, whatever. I'd like your thoughts on Fernando Lobo being introduced yesterday as the new athletic director at the University of New Mexico. All right, we got football tonight. Want to get into a little bit of the NFL. Aaron Rodgers spoke yesterday, and a guy who says, I'll be your villain. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. 505-246-0610 is how to get to us. Thank you for being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
505-246-0610. I'm trying to find the date, JJ, that Bronco Mendenhall signed his contract last year. And you're going to say, well, why is that important? And somebody just sent me a text. What was it? I'm looking through some of the details of the contract, and the buyout, if Mendenhall was to terminate his contract, was initially was $3 million in year one, and I believe today starts year two of his contract. And I'm looking for the exact date, and it would drop $1 million. The buyout would.
So just pulled it up.
Did you?
Albuquerque Journal.
Yeah.
So it says nearly 6 months after he was introduced as New Mexico's football coach, Bronco Mendenhall signed a 5-year, $6 million contract on Wednesday, and this story was posted on May 24th.
That's right. So he didn't sign the deal. So but what's considered year one? Was it, year one wouldn't be year one from that May till May, obviously. And I'm going to guess it goes off the offer sheet or the letter of understanding. I've got a number of questions people have asked me about that, but the way I understand it on buyout, if Bronco leaves, it's 100%. That's not right. That's if they fire him, $3 million in year one, which may have ended yesterday. $2 million in year two. So if he were to go, what would the buyout be? And it might.
In this story,
that
was posted in a journal, it says figures Mendenhall would pay if he were to terminate the contract.
Yeah,
$3 million paid to UNM in year one.
Yeah,
$2 million paid to UNM.
That's
in year
what I
two.
got. Yeah, that's what I got. But when does year one end? Because I think that's very significant. Bronco said the other day, "I've not been contacted. I've not interviewed." He didn't say I'm not going to interview or I'm not going to. I have no interest. He didn't put it to rest. Is my point, right? He didn't just say no. I'm not interested. He kind of looked off to the side and said I've not been contacted. I've not interviewed. But again, I'd like to know when year one ends because the buyout may have dropped $1 million today. Which, if you listen to what's coming out of there, just pay attention to it. That's all I'm saying. 505-246-0610. Oh, Mike is a sleuth. He's put it together. The pieces are coming together, Jeff Alous. CJ Nolan busted up his hand on Shane Dumas Sanchez's grill. It's from Mike.
I really do not think the player that they voted team captain busted up a walk-on.
I'm pretty certain. All right, Mike. I know you're not the only one who's put that together. You're not right, but I understand. That's got to be it. Ron's upset. Jeff, he wants to vent. Can I vent, Jeffy? If the Mountain West continues to use the Mountain West Conference Network as its main vehicle for distribution, it needs to hire real announcers for all sports. I'm tired of hearing the local dude or gal wetting their pants. It's from Ron.
Ouch.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're all over that, man. JJ's on the Mountain West all the time, man. JJ's all over the Mountain West Network. Every game you do, basically, at home is on the Mountain West Network, right?
Yeah, but he's probably not watching, so on the women's side.
Do you wet your pants? Do you have to change? Like when it's all said and done. Like,
no.
Should some guy get you
I
a
don't
set of
have to
adult
change my
diapers
pants.
so you don't have to get up in the middle of the game and go?
We're working our asses off.
Yeah.
And to think that there's going to bring in extra crews just to do it for a stream is ridiculous. But
there was a minute.
I'm very appreciative. I really do enjoy the fact that we get to simulcast.
Yeah.
And I talk with Chase Christensen, who's fantastic.
Yeah, they
all
do
the
a
time.
great job. Yeah.
And I mesh, the radio content in with the Mountain West Network content.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. I understand that there's different fan bases watching. And I still will lean. When good things happen for the Lobos, yeah, you're going to get a little more excitement on the UNM Sports Radio Network. But I do understand that just from a women's basketball perspective that these home games are being streamed by the home team. So if people are watching, it's a broader audience. So I understand that. But actually take pride in the fact that we have that opportunity.
They used to do it. I remember I called a couple of games just for the Mountain West Network on the video, and they took a different stream. But I would give you this, Ron. First of all, I think the video stream quality from almost all of these venues is pretty good. Is it network like is it CBS March Madness coverage? It's not, but it's pretty good. You get a good feel of the game. Secondly, and I would guess this is pretty important. Free is cheap. Like, it is free content. And you probably like free, and if they were going to hire some new announcers, it might not be as free.
Yeah, you just start getting the Hawaii model.
Yeah, you'd have to start paying for it. So you may have to listen, in your words, to the local dude or gal wetting their pants. Because, well, again, you get the content. And
Depends. I'll make sure to pack some.
Hey, man, Emma Smith is doing Depends interviews or commercials. So, all right, 505-246-0610. I just got a text. We got Ryan's doing some research for us. He said the effective date on the deal was December 5, 2023, a year ago today. So that would make today or tomorrow the buyout would drop $1 million. So if for some reason, and I'm just saying, and Lobo Hobo said, I think all those buyouts were voided the day Eduardo left. They were not voided. They might have been decreased. I do recall something on that. I got to find that too. But I do think the date today, tomorrow is significant. Just saying. If in fact something happens. All right. Can we talk about this when we get back? NFL upholds Aziz Al-Shair's 3-game suspension for his hit on Trevor Lawrence. What he had to say about it? How do you feel about it? And does the NFL need a villain? All right, I'll be it. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient. They're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView.
What it costs. The loss at Hawaii cost Bronco $50,000. There was a $50,000 incentive to make a bowl game in his contract. It's the opening drive. Jeff Sibieta, JJ Buck, thank you for being with us this morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. NFL tonight here on The Sports Animal, Packers at Lions. It's a good one, boys and girls. Green Bay at Detroit. Weather won't be a factor because, well, they play indoors. Although weather is an issue up there. Child didn't respond to me. An easy question last night, and then about 2 hours later, sorry, Dad, we're running around the snow. She showed me this like 4-layer snowman that they built. Snowman that they built.
I don't
know what the hell
this snow person.
Yeah. The snowman that they built, and she's like, yeah, it was fun, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, out in the snow. She's like, because we're hearing all these nightmares how cold it is. It's like, Dad, it's cold. It's not that damn cold. So, all right, good. That made me feel better. All right. NFL stuff. Azeez Al-Shaair. He is the linebacker for the Texans. who got suspended for 3 games on that hit that took out Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence is probably out for the rest of the season. The quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
By the way, he is, because he's also going to have shoulder surgery.
All right, so he's done. Yeah. No, and they're not very good, and so all right. The league suspended. He appealed. The league upheld the suspension. After I read you yesterday what they said during your game. Blah blah blah. What you did, you delivered a forceful blow to the head neck area. You had time and space to avoid it. After the illegal hit, you proceeded to engage in a brawl, which you escalated when you pulled an opponent down to the ground by his face mask. After the referee announced that you were disqualified for the hit and your unsportsmanlike acts, you removed your helmet and re-engaged with your opponent while walking down and across the field, which started another physical confrontation near the end zone. Your lack of sportsmanship and respect for the game of football and all those who play, coach, and enjoy watching it is troubling and does not reflect the core values of the NFL. Your continued disregard for NFL playing rules puts the health and safety of both you and your opponents in jeopardy and will not be tolerated, end quote, NFL. Damn.
Thanks, Dad.
Is that a strongly worded letter?
And you know what? I appreciate the pushback from Nick Caserio, the Houston Texans general manager, because that is just crazy. We're making you, or we're proving a point with this suspension about you. And, like, you're the problem with the NFL. Like, yeah, it was a hard hit. He's going to take a suspension, but then to come down like that, it sounds like your parents caught you out one too many times. You have to sit there and take a lecture. It's like you're asking these dudes to show up every weekend, play hard, put their bodies on the line, and then you would go out and do this. I don't like how the NFL painted the dude.
No, I mean, they painted it, man. I mean, they
could just be like, cross the line too many times, here's your suspension.
Yeah,
I mean, try to go out and be like, your disregard for the NFL and core values and yada yada yada, with all the things that human beings do in that league.
Yep,
like this is the stance they take. It's like, okay, it's because he took out a quarterback.
He took out a quarterback, and so yes and yes and yes and yes and all those things. So what did he do? He went to social media and he said he's going to embrace the villain role. He says, "You want me to be your villain? I'll be your villain." And he's got the post that includes a middle finger emoji with an array of pictures on there. It's got Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. It's got a saying that says there's beauty in being rejected, misunderstood, unseen, and unprotected by people. It teaches you to rely on Allah for everything. So that's all out there. And it's going to be interesting, when he comes back, how he handles this. He will be the villain. He will be that guy for the rest of his career, whether he is that guy or not. Right? I mean, that's just who.
And you know what? I actually really appreciate that post for him.
Okay.
Because the NFL could have just said, you crossed a line, here's your suspension. Boom.
No,
they added that on.
Did they put that in the initial, or was that in their response to the to the appeal? Do you know?
That's a good question. I don't know if it was a response to the appeal or not, but still, you could have just said
rejected.
Yeah,
rejected appeal.
Crossed the line too many times. Here's your 3-game suspension. But they put that out there. Of course, the player is going to respond.
But they wouldn't put that out there, I don't believe. Well, first of all, is anything in there untrue? Did he not do any of those things?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous to say that he doesn't respect the game of football.
Okay.
Because
fair.
So are you going to say every safety that has
fair.
a late hit on a wide receiver? We don't scream and cry like that over hits over the middle. But it's to a
totally
quarterback.
Fair. Totally
so
fair.
This dude is going to get shelled.
Is it not true that after the illegal hit, you proceeded to engage in a brawl?
Okay, he was protecting himself too from getting. I don't have a problem with the Jaguars going after him, but then he's just not going to take getting beat up by a bunch of Jaguars either.
Yeah, fair. All right. As you were leaving the game, you went across the field and started another physical confrontation. Was that not true? I'm just asking.
Okay. But then. You could just say you crossed the line, but your continued disregard for NFL playing rules puts the health and safety of both you and your opponents in jeopardy. Are you sending that out after every unsportsmanlike hit?
No, you're not, because every one of those guys is
so
not
I have zero problem.
Yeah, every one of those guys is not a quote unquote repeat offender.
Every one of those guys has personal foul penalties in their career. Every one of those guys has hit someone late out of bounds, hit someone across the middle, pulled someone down by a face mask.
Have they all been and again, I honestly don't know about every one of those guys, and I'm not even sure I know all of his suspensions. Have all those guys been disciplined by the league has gone to as escalated to the league office?
Sure, there's been plenty of fines that we don't know about.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of fines. That's probably right that we don't know about. I mean, I don't know. That's why I'm asking. All right, dude did what he did. I'm not going to tell you I got a huge problem with it. At some point, the league's got to say, like, if they're using this guy as the example, a guy who, in their mind, is a repeat offender. If that's what they're doing, then that's what they're doing. Do I have time here, or do I need to hold this through the break? Probably got. All right, I'm going to hold Matthew. I'm going to hold you through the break because I got like 30 seconds for your call, so I want to give you your time. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. Jerry Palm's going to be with us coming up this morning at 8:30. He of CBS Sports. We're going to get his thoughts on the college football playoff. We got mystery boxes to give away at 8:10 and 9:10 from our friends at All In Autographs. Mystery boxes that contain a signed jersey. They're all NFL jerseys, right? I believe them to be NFL jerseys from our good friends over at All In Autographs. So we'll do that coming up at 8:10 this morning and at 9:10 this morning. If you want to get in on this, on the Lobos stuff, whatever. Lobos win last night at the Pit, 83-77. You're welcome to get in on that as well. 505-246-0610. Emails this morning, jeff@sportsanimalabq.com, jj@sportsanimalabq.com. Thank you for being with us on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
All right, so Broncos buyout goes down tomorrow. From $3 million to $2 million. Just saying. Yeah. 505-246-0610. What do you got? Who's your Matthew? All right, and we can get into the NFL stuff too. Aziz Al-Shair, 505-246-0610. Matthew, thank you for holding. Good morning. You're on the Sports Animal.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. Always a pleasure. Great show, as always. But Al-Shair, the thing is, that was a response to his appeal. And, they kind of just slapped him around because if you act like a jackass, you should be treated like one. And when it comes to receivers not doing that, I don't recall any receiver giving themselves up and sliding in the middle of the field. So, I think they just, he's done this so many times and a couple other instances on his way out of the building. It's well received, and I don't have a problem with what the NFL said.
Right.
The other point I have is the Lobos, that was a gutsy win last night, although they should have drummed them. And it seems like every game I see someone else that's stepping up and doing well, and that's very exciting and it's very fun to watch. The only problem I have, and I hope it was just a fluke, but if you miss 10 free throws in one game, you better shoot 75 of them. But that's all I got, guys. Thanks.
All right, thanks. Yeah, free throws are they've been an issue. Last night, they were 20 of 30 at the free throw line. Lobos win last night. It's funny, I got a text earlier, JJ. It said, I just listened to the last segment of your show, and I would have thought UNM got blown off the court until you said they went to 1-0. We were talking about Lobo basketball last night. People, came out of this whole thing, and it's like, whoa, what happened?
Well, I think that's what we do with any team with higher expectations. You're 19.5-point favorites at home. You trailed for 32 minutes in that game. So you have to discuss why were you trailing? What happened in that contest? Well, you had a starter out, CJ Nolan. Energy levels were low. San Jose State shocked you early. You were down by 13. You come back to win. That is the most important thing. But we are also discussing this team as a regular season contender in the Mountain West.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to dissect things
a
little bit more.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. Slow start last night. We're down by as much as 13 in the first half to San Jose State and come back and ended up winning. The final score is 83-77. Elsewhere in the Mountain West last night, you did have a couple of games in conference. San Diego State was up by 5 at halftime, ended up winning by 22 in Fresno. Aztecs got 25 from Agunquath. He went 25-10. They win 84-62. In Logan, the Utah State Aggies go to 8-0. They win their conference opener. They beat Wyoming 70-67. Ian Martinez had 23 points, 17 in the second half. And non-conference last night, Colorado State over Loyola Marymount 83-54. The Rams are 5-3. Next up, everybody's off till Saturday. You got opportunities, man. UNLV plays Creighton. Boise State plays Washington State. Fresno State plays Santa Clara. Colorado State plays Colorado. New Mexico State. There's opportunities out there for some big victories. A big one, JJ, that will indirectly affect New Mexico, but it affects them because they'll play San Diego State twice. Creighton beat Kansas 76-63, ending Kansas's win streak. Kansas was number 1 in the country. And that's a Creighton team that lost to San Diego State. So that just increases their strength of schedule, which increases yours because you're going to play them twice.
Metrics are always evolving.
Yeah. So that's part of the whole metrics thing. All right. 505-246-0610. We're going to give away the jersey here coming up in a few minutes. If you were there last night, want your thoughts on Level basketball. Tonight, you get the football, the Packers, and the Lions. 49ers shut down Christian McCaffrey this week. Are they done? Fred Warner's their linebacker says they are not done. And he's not going to join McCaffrey on the sideline. He said last week he's got a fractured ankle. He gets pain-killing injections before every game, dude. Quote, the injuries haven't gone our way, especially at specific positions, key starters, ones that have a big effect on the game. But at the end of the day, it's the NFL. A lot of teams are dealing with worse than what we're dealing with. So I'm just trying to look and find a way to win with who we got out there. At the end of the day, we got 11 players on our side of the ball, so we got to go. Dude, I mean, you're playing with a broken ankle every week. Shoot it up.
Man, you appreciate that mindset.
Right.
That's what you're looking for. 'Cause a lot of people ask when the season's over, because the narrative is just tank, throw it away, get a high draft pick, reset your franchise. But you're still professional. Most of these guys don't want to play till the end, regardless. And that's a heck of a dude right there playing on a fractured ankle. Warner is one of the best linebackers. And this is become a season for San Francisco that you have to ask the legit question, like, is their window closed?
Yeah. With that group, right? And Brock Purdy.
Like, do you feel comfortable paying Brock Purdy after this season? Are you going to move on from Kyle Shanahan? Has he worn out his welcome? Does this need to be just a reset in San Francisco?
All right, what do you think of Kyle Shanahan? I mean, I think everybody thinks he's a good coach. He's gotten to Super Bowls. He hasn't won. I know
he's a fantastic coach.
Was it you who said he is going to be the Andy Reid, where he's going to be somewhere and really good, but not get over the hump because he doesn't have the right guy, and he's going to get another shot somewhere and get over the hump with a second, in his second.
He has that
incarnation.
vibe to it. It was the same thing in Philadelphia, NFC championship game, Super Bowl loss. Like, that's when you talk about coaches losing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's a Mike McCarthy in Dallas. Like, well, they can't win. Well, this dude loses in the Super Bowl, and you want to be done with him? Okay.
I mean,
he got there with who? Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy. Let's take a step back. As awesome as we think those guys are, you're not ranking Brock Purdy in top 10, just straight up quarterbacks that you're taking.
Man, we were taking Brock Purdy this time last year. We're saying, he is a top 10.
But the reality is he's not an elevator. He's good.
So what
he's
is
not
he?
making that team better.
Is he a starting quarterback anywhere else in the NFL next year?
I think this has Brock is going to get an opportunity.
Because my answer is yes.
Yes, but it's along the lines of you have to ask yourself that serious question: are you good enough if you pay Brock that much money, and then the edges take a step down?
Yeah. All right.
It's the Dak Prescott conversation. It's all that.
Well, look, let me ask you this: if Brock Purdy was doing what Brock Purdy's done, and he was drafted 23rd in the draft in the first round, as opposed to the very last guy in the very last round, would we, honestly, because I do believe everybody would have a different opinion on it. I do.
I don't think so.
I absolutely do. And I feel like Brock Purdy's never really gotten his full due because everybody's thought, well, and now that they're scuffling and he's hurt relatively often. And so I get that's a big issue. So is Dak Prescott, by the way.
And I'm, me, when the quarterback conversations, like, you're going to end up paying good quarterbacks probably more than you should in this league, and you have to figure it out. But I think when you look at where San Francisco is and the fact, McCaffrey, Trent Williams, the wide receivers, like, is that the right plan for them moving forward?
Yeah. All right. 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff@sportsanimalabq.com and JJ@sportsanimalabq.com. Jerry Palm's going to be with us coming up at 8:30 this morning. We'll talk to him about the college football playoff. It is now time to give away one of the 12 days of jerseys, or 12 jerseys of Christmas. Our friends at All In Autographs have given us mystery boxes with a signed jersey to give away. and we would like to give one to you. If you are caller number 4 right now at 505-246-0610. Caller 4 at 505-246-0610. You will win one of those jerseys, courtesy of All in Autographs and your friends at 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
All right. We gave that away. We got another jersey to give away. We will do that coming up at 9:10 this morning. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in today. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. If you've got a event that you need to plan, Albuquerque Convention Center is a place that you absolutely should consider hosting your event. Just absolutely should consider that. You've been to events there. You know how wonderful the place is. Go take a look at it. They go above and beyond. We do an event there every year for Ysleta New Mexico Bowl. They take care of our people. They've got parking adjacent. It's right in the center of it all in downtown Albuquerque. Their staff goes above and beyond. Your event will be that dream event that you've always wanted. It will be reality, and it'll be everything you wanted it to be. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center with over 600,000 square feet of versatile, beautiful meeting space. So it's whether your event is 10 people or 20,000 people, it will be that event that everybody wants to be at. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. Visit albuquerquecc.com for more. Albuquerque CC, or give them a call, 505-768-4575. That's area code 505-768-4575. All right, we're looking through Bronco Mendenhall's contract, and December 5th is the date. What's today? December 5th. So today starts the second year of the contract. All right, I just confirmed this. JJ, you heard it too. We do know the Sports Animal has learned that Bronco Mendenhall is in Logan today and is going to interview at Utah State. And, he's kind of told the university that, I'm just looking around, but it's an interview and he's up there. The buyout, and I don't see something in here, and maybe there was an addendum. I'm looking, JJ, at page 10 of the contract that you got too. If Bronco terminates the contract, it drops today. Yesterday would have been $3 million, but today is year 2, so the buyout would drop to $2 million if he leaves. Now, look, does he leave? I don't know, man. Obviously, there's interest. He said yesterday or 2 days ago, when was that? Tuesday? He said that he had not been contacted or interviewed with Utah State. He didn't say he wasn't going to. He didn't say he didn't have interest. He was asked specifically if he had, and at that point, maybe just his agent had, or he hadn't, and I'm sure he was telling the truth at that point. He answered the question that was answered. But the Sports Animal has learned that we do know the Broncos up in Logan today and is going to interview with Utah State for the football job. So whatever that means to you, and we'll see.
Simmering coals.
Yeah.
Smoke, and is there about to be fire?
Payments can be made over 36 months. So it's not like you're going to get a $2 million lump sum. If in fact he goes, you get, over 36 months, the money can trickle in, which makes it a lot more manageable to go find people to help you. If you're Utah State and you're going to your donors, you say, hey, look, we're going to Pac-12 and we're going to bring in this coach. Look what he's done. He's a miracle worker. He's one of, he's a Utah guy. He's from here. We need, 750 and 750 and 750 and
for
whatever it is. However you break down.
36 easy installments of
right.
$200,000. You can have yourself a head coach.
Plus whatever you got to pay him. Yeah. So I've been looking for that clause. And again, I don't know. I had heard there was a clause. I don't see it in this. There could be an addendum that's not. I imagine, would it be attached to this, JJ, that you're looking at, that I'm looking at, that we're all looking at? That says the buyout would go down if Eddie left. And there was something, I just don't see it. But so that's where we are, boys and girls. Broncos up in Logan today. Matt says, Jeff, I'm already pissed. Just what are we even here talking about potential he could leave after 1 year? If he's at all shopping around, we've all been hoodwinked by the act. He stood there and talked about impacting young people, making relationships, being embedded by the community, crying after games. Was it all a bunch of baloney? And he even spelled baloney right, B-L-O-G-N-A. He says, I get that it's a transient profession. Even the college players are transient now more than ever. But if you're going to come into a place, take a job, say all the things he said, and try to project his high character value system, you don't leave after 1 year. I'd argue that that's more damaging to a program than just about anything else you can do. If that's truly your commitment level, then just don't take the damn job. I don't care what the offer is. You have an obligation to humans in this community to stay at least 2-3 years. I can live with that. I'm grossed out. It's from Matt. I'm going to guess if this goes that way,
Get a lot of that feeling.
Yeah. Now, if he tells you, I was committed, but the leadership changed, and what if he stands there and tells you, and I don't know what that he was told something, and the league is different, and it's not the same position he took, and I gave everything I did, and I, if that's the case, man, you give Coach Beck the job. I mean, do you go like to try to keep this together, because the portal opens on. Well,
the answer is he's on that sheet. I do think that in this day and age, you can't hire someone just because you think it's going to keep anyone around.
Fair.
I think you give him the opportunity for the work that he did as a coordinator. He wasn't on the finalist list for the Broyles Award, which goes to the best coordinator in college football, but he was nominated, so people see his impact. He would deserve a look, but you have to do a thorough search if you are looking for a coach.
So Jason Beck, the former quarterback at BYU, young man, credited with so much of the offense. Again, man, I heard about this yesterday. Okay, I think I told you this yesterday, that, and I just want to make sure it was confirmed by the right people that Bronco was going up and interviewing today. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about players going into the portal and who's going in, and it's not the guys, Lobo fan wants to see in the portal now. I heard they'll stay if Bronco stays. And again, this isn't a done deal. This could be he's up there and seeing, and maybe he's got a better deal here. I don't know. It's not like Utah State's just rolling in their money either now, right?
No.
I mean, it's not like you're not going to BYU. You're not going even Utah for that matter. It's not like you're going to a place that's just rolling in cash. But, is their stadium better? Is their commitment to football better? I'll give you this. Their history over the last couple of decades in football is better, right? They've had more success. They had the 10-year Jordan Love won our game. They a 10-win team, 11-win team? So, all right, 505-246-0610. But, yeah, we've and you heard that. I mean, we were able to confirm that, and we know Broncos up there. And again, on the buyout, the timing is ironic at least, right? Why wouldn't he have gone out? Now, I guess you can interview whenever you want, but you can get out, notify them you're getting out of your deal. But today would mark the second year, because his contract started December 5 of last year. So today would mark the second year of his agreement. You read through the whole damn thing?
Scroll through it.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to it, right? There's a lot to it. But again, if he does leave the buyout, it's $2 million over 36 months. You can get in on it however you want. And again, that doesn't mean he's gone. There's been coaches who have interviewed. There's been coaches who go places. That doesn't mean he's gone. But it means he's out of town today. He's up there interviewing. So that's what we know. All right. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in on that. We're going to talk with Jerry Palm. I want to get in with him, go through the college football playoff bracket as it stands today, and go through some what-if scenarios, right? What if Boise State loses? They say you will not be penalized for losing your conference championship game, but would they? What if SMU loses? They say you will not be penalized for losing a conference championship game, but would they? Hoser, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal.
Oh, gosh darn it, man.
It ain't over.
I'm like the caller that texted about all that. I mean, if it would have been, maybe 2 more years down the road, okay. But after 1 year, and especially the success, and this is what hurts New Mexico football, man. You start to taste it, you start to see it, and guys bail out, and it's just disheartening. And it's more disheartening because, yes, I thought, to me, Bronco just came across like, hey, I chose to come here. I wanted to do something special here. And so for him to kind of go, if he does end up going over there, it's just like, yeah, I'm like that caller, man. It's like, man, I thought he was a different character guy. And so, and I don't know what is enticing about that job besides it gets him closer to his hometown.
Well, it's a Pac-12.
But, I mean, he's made his money, right? He's got a ranch in Montana. I mean, he said the money is not the problem.
Right.
I don't know why he would be enticed.
It would be
in Utah.
Yeah, if he decides they're more committed to football, if he decides the Pac is better than the Mountain West, that it's more stable, if there's more money, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
and those are all good
leadership
factors that you bring up.
Yeah, leadership. If he's more comfortable now, look, I'm not sure how stable they are at the athletic director position. That's a whole nother story. They got a lot of problems.
But to me, to me, I guess I'm old fashioned, man. I want to be that guy that works with the underdog, that brings the underdog to glory, and then you kind of solidify your legacy by doing that. And I don't know, for some reason, it's not quite as enticing anymore. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to, just stay through the hard times and get this really, really turned around. I mean, I know it's headed in the right direction, but I think that's what's disheartening, and it's not gonna sit well with a lot of fans. And it's just, gosh darn it.
Yeah,
I know that's the way JJ say, it's sports. Yeah. but I just don't like the way it's kind of being run these days. But
right. Appreciate you. I think a lot of people feel that way. All right, Jerry Palm from CBS Sports next. We're going to go through some scenarios in the college football playoff, the what ifs, and what about Miami and Alabama? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots. Got shots. Got shots.
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get...
All right, college football playoff and all the bowl lineup will be announced this coming Sunday. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. We'll take your calls coming up, and obviously the texts are going crazy. The Sports Animal has learned that Bronco Mendenhall is in Logan, Utah today, and interviewing for the Utah State job. I've been hearing, JJ, that Utah State wants to make an announcement, but tomorrow maybe have an introductory press conference with whomever their coach is by Saturday. And I think obviously you'd love to wrap things up as quickly as you can. I don't know that that's set in stone. But we do know Bronco is up there and interviewing today. We'll take your calls. Jerry Palm, CBSSports.com. You read him daily. And boy, is there a lot to read about. He joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Jerry Palm. How you living?
I'm all right. How are you?
Just dealing with some news that could be relatively seismic around here.
Yep, heard it.
Yeah. All right, this came out yesterday or 2 days ago. There's a couple things to go through, and obviously the Miami-Alabama thing. I don't care if it's 4-5. I don't care if it's 12-13. I don't care if it's 68-69. The last team out is always going to have a gripe. You like Miami?
Well, I think they do anyway.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, do you like Miami or Alabama in that spot?
Well, I predicted they would go with Miami, but there was certainly a case for Alabama.
Sure.
They played a very strong schedule. They've got 3 ranked wins all at home, but still, 3 ranked wins, one of which is Georgia. And it's, Miami, for all their accomplishments, didn't really beat anybody. I think the best team they beat was Duke.
Or Louisville.
Could be wrong about that. But they didn't beat anybody in the rankings, last week's rankings or this week's rankings. There's, when you're, and let's face it, there are other teams in that boat. You don't have to beat a team in the rankings to make this playoff, because look at Indiana, right? I mean, they didn't beat a soul. They had the worst schedule of anybody. Got, drilled by the one good team they played, but because they annihilated pretty much everybody else, Michigan the only exception, that level of dominance was rewarded. And Miami was a team that did not dominate much. They like to play with their food.
Yeah.
And, found ways to win in the fourth quarter of a lot of games, but, they didn't really impress even in many of their wins. So, as a subjective process, which this is, there's objective data, but it's a subjective process. I can see why Alabama would appeal to them, even if it didn't say Alabama on the front of their jersey.
I look at it, and we had this conversation yesterday. The schedule's what the schedule is. You guys want to have 18-team, 16-team leagues. You're not going to play everybody, and you're going to have unbalanced schedules. You can have what Indiana did. You can have Miami's schedule, and then you're going to complain. Well, I mean, they beat who they beat. Look, man, you can't have it both ways. And
that's why what Indiana did mattered. It's like if
the way they won.
You're going to get the schedule, and I didn't think they've even said this about Indiana. It's like their schedule is their schedule. What did you do with your schedule?
You beat the hell out of
Indiana went out and just drilled 10 of the 11 teams they beat. Absolutely smoked them.
Well, I guess the question is, Jerry, what's more important, a good loss I'm sorry, a good win or a bad loss, because Alabama lost to 2 6-6 teams and got drilled by Oklahoma. Ohio State just got beat by a 6-win.
Really, that Oklahoma game is why I thought they'd go with Miami.
Yeah, and
Ohio, that was a no-show.
Well,
total no-show.
Ohio State only fell to number 6 and got beat at home by a 6-win Michigan team.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, it's, but they also have 2 top 10 wins.
They do. Yeah. No, they do.
So
they absolutely do.
That matters.
I know.
They certainly weren't going to fall behind Indiana.
Well, they shouldn't. They beat them.
Right.
Yeah.
And they, clobbered them. Yeah. So, so the debate would have been Tennessee. Well, their resume is better than Tennessee's. It's not absolutely 100% better. You could make a case, I guess, for Tennessee, but I think there's a better case for Alabama over Miami than there is for Tennessee over Ohio State.
Fair enough. Jerry Palm, CBS Sports, is with us on the Sports Animal.
Well, Jerry, the first conference championship domino Friday night, UNLV, Boise State. Of course, Broncos have that last bye. What do you make of that game?
It's hard not to like Boise State, the way they played this year, and the fact that they're playing at home. This will be a really good test for them. Of course, they didn't play in the regular season.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. No, Boise beat them by 5 in Vegas.
Oh, sorry. My mistake. Yeah. You're right. They did. Yeah. I'm thinking it's just like every other league where the teams haven't played each other. But that's not
this league had it too. They only played 7 league games in this league because they had that scheduling agreement.
Yeah, I know. It was a weird year with the Pac-2 being part of the schedule, but not part of the conference schedule. Yeah. So, it was. It'll be like that again next year too, right?
No, they did not. No, they did not renew the scheduling agreement. No, they'll play.
Okay, all right. So, but so it's a weird year, but Boise's been better. They've been better all year. UNLV is absolutely capable of winning this game. It would be unfortunate for the Mountain West. I mean, they're going to get their champion in the playoff regardless.
Yep.
Because everybody else has opted out. But it would, really be a nice statement for the league to get a bye.
All right, but so the committee has said. Basically, and Ward Manuel said this, like you're not going to get penalized for losing a conference championship game, right?
Yeah, that's not right.
What if Boise State or SMU lose their conference championship game?
Yeah, they're not going to be where they are. They're just not. Those are not at-large teams if they don't win. The concern has always been, what if the lower-ranked team loses and falls out? But what this committee has done consistently over every season, even last season, if you are the lower-ranked team and you lose, and it's a competitive game, you're fine. You're probably not going to move at all unless somebody jumps you that won another game. But relative to each other, these teams don't. They're probably not going to move. So, but if you're the higher-ranked team and you lose, or you're the lower-ranked team and you get drilled, you're absolutely getting. You're going to be punished for that. If Georgia beats Texas, there's absolutely no way Georgia doesn't finish ahead of Texas in these rankings. There's no way.
Yeah, but Texas will still be in, right? They just won't get a bye, and they wouldn't get a bye anyway because the SEC champion gets the automatic bye. Does SMU fall completely out, or Boise State fall completely out
if Boise State or SMU? If Boise State loses, they're going to fall. I don't know if they're going to fall behind Miami.
But UNLV gets the auto bid.
UNLV's a good team. They're losing to good teams, but it'll depend on the nature of the game. Oftentimes, in Boise's situation, they take their second loss to UNLV. Now, a team they split with head-and-head. UNLV is the conference champion.
They're in. UNLV.
Not only are they in, but they're probably ahead of Boise in the rankings. That is what normally would happen, is that they'd be ahead of Boise in the rankings. But UNLV is not jumping to 10. They're going to be somewhere between the two of them, and Boise's behind UNLV in the rankings. That's usually how that would work. Now, if they're saying that the conference championship games don't count at all, which is what you're saying, I don't believe he meant that. I think that he meant that in the context of the lower-ranked team getting beat. We're not going to hammer those guys for losing to the better team. But I didn't see the question or the context. But if they choose to ignore these results, then other than somebody else gets a bye or somebody else is the champion, then that would be unprecedented in how this committee has behaved every year of this system, including last year. where half of these committee members were on the system, or, more than half probably.
Jerry Palm from CBS Sports is with us on the Sports Animal.
And it's a top 5 conference, highest ranked conference champs that get in,
yes,
but not a buyer.
Right. No, so if UNLV wins,
it's a big thing for UNLV.
Yeah, UNLV's playing to get in the playoff.
Yeah, and Jerry, and you look at that too. And then the Big 12. What do you think about that matchup and where they're sitting right now?
Yeah, I think first of all, I think it's a pretty good matchup. They're different styles. Iowa State's a little more defensive oriented, and Arizona State's more offensive oriented. So it'll be whoever can sort of dictate their will on the game is probably going to win. Iowa State was my preseason pick to win, and then they kind of went through a midseason slump, but as it turns out, everybody in the league slumped a little bit, and so here they are with another chance. Arizona State's arguably the hottest team in the league going into this game. It's a neutral site game, unlike some of the outside the Power 4 conference championships or a lot of home fields there. But I like Iowa State. I think that Iowa State's defense gives them trouble, but they're able to dictate style and win. But that's what it's going to come down to, is who can dictate style. The Big 12 has a chance to get a bye, but they need help with either Boise or SMU.
Yeah. What was the biggest surprising result this weekend? Was it Michigan? I mean, the Georgia Tech game was bonkers. The eight overtimes.
The Georgia Tech game was bonkers.
Just silly.
But the result was Georgia won.
Right, that's right. So was it Syracuse? Was it Michigan?
Game is over, right?
It just ended. Yeah, it just ended.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have to say the Ohio State Michigan game. I hate to say it's surprising when the underdog wins that game because they're so competitive mostly, but it's been such a down year for Michigan, and Ohio State just did not look sharp. I don't think they matched Michigan's intensity throughout the course of that game, and Michigan was a deserved winner in that game. They played better, they were more ready, and it was funny after that game, and then Purdue gets beat 66-0 by Indiana, and the rumor around Purdue was that Ryan Walters was going to keep his job. And I thought, well, Ryan Day's got 4 straight losses to Michigan, but beats the snot out of everybody else and has a better chance of losing his job maybe than Ryan Walters at Purdue, who has the worst season in the whole history of Purdue's programs. But it turned out not to be the case.
Yeah.
But it shows you, how important that game is at Ohio State. That people are, AD have to come out and make a statement about Ryan Day and his job security when he's lost 4 straight to Michigan, but really, literally beats the snot out of everybody else.
Yeah. All right, read Jerry this weekend. So Sunday's a big day in our industry. Obviously, bowls come out after the college football playoff.
You already have.
Yeah, the early ones, because there's early bowls and there's travel bowls, and so the lineups start to come out. But you'll get the full bowl lineup. I think it's 12:15 Eastern is when they're going to announce the bracket. And then bowls will come out, I want to say around noon our time, 2 o'clock your time. So I just saw the release yesterday. So
yeah, it'll be Fast and Furious at that point.
Yeah, then they all start firing them out, and you'll get them. And I know you'll have a lot to say. Read them every day. Follow them on the X. It's at JP Palm CBS. You got anything else for him? What was our basketball question? We had a basketball question for you, and I totally forgot what it was.
I'll have to go back and
I know.
Check
it's
the
like,
tape.
all right, we're going to ask Jerry on Thursday and totally forgot. All right. Enjoy the weekend, my friend. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks.
Be well. He is Jerry Palm from CBS Sports, and he'll be all over it. It's like, it's infuriating now, right? Kenny was sitting here.
I'll check the tape.
Yeah, I know. Hey, if you've been a victim of break-in, property crime, you know too well it takes hours, if not days, for the police to respond. Just not enough officers to cover all the calls that they get. But when it's you and it's your home and it's your business, you need a much quicker response. So how does 7 minutes or less sound? It's typically the response time for customers of International Protective Service like me. I trust IPS. They've patrolled my home for years. You see them everywhere in your neighborhood, at the stores. They are protecting property, business, home property. You've worked too damn hard to build what you got to let some bad guys just come in and destroy it. Don't wait to be a victim. Call IPS. It's affordable private security. They can provide standing guards, install alarms, camera systems, monitor those cameras 24/7. Just raise the level of security around your home and your business. So who's watching your home when you're away? Make sure it's the good guys and not the bad guys. International Protective Service, 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS, making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Understand us how to get to us today. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. The Sports Animal reported, or we learned and confirmed, Bronco Mendenhall is going to be, is in Logan, Utah, interviewing at Utah State today for the job. That doesn't mean he's going to take it. That doesn't mean they're going to offer it. That doesn't mean they won't. That doesn't mean he won't. He said 2 days ago that he had not been contacted or interviewed for the job. That's probably correct. He probably could his agent have, but he didn't say, I don't have any interest or wouldn't or any of that stuff. A couple things that are of interest, and JJ and I have been looking through the contract, which was dated, it went into effect on the 5th. The effective date of the contract is December 5, 2023. Why is that relevant to you? Today is December 5, 2024. So year 2 of the contract would start today, right? The buyout dropped $1 million at midnight. The buyout went from $3 million to $2 million. So it's out there, and you guys. And again, I'm not telling you he took the job. I've not told you it's been offered. All I know is that he's up there, and that he is interviewing. And I'm sure your phone's going nuts too, right? You getting a lot.
Definitely waiting to see when people start hearing about this and what social media starts saying as well.
Text line. This is from you guys now, 8715. Regarding Bronco, believe it or not, when the leaders of your state refuse year after year to commit money to football program, these types of things are more likely to happen. Obviously, winning is the key to success, but facilities are a huge part of this. University Stadium is 20 years past due for a complete rebuild and or overhaul. New Mexico is in a place where they are flush with hundreds of millions, maybe way more, of unspent, undedicated dollars. You may have an amazing staff, but recruits and coaches want to see all the bells and whistles when it comes to facilities. A new or completely renovated football stadium would not only benefit UNM, but it would provide space for many other events we currently can't host. So we need to put pressure on the leaders of our state to pull their head out. I wouldn't be mad at Bronco if he left because that's the nature of the biz. I'll be bummed because there could be a mass exodus of players if he does leave. I think we really need to look at the OC. Heads up, Lobo Nation. All right. Why is my thread blocked? All of a sudden, everything went bye-bye on me on the text line. And I'll try to redo that. Let me get you a few more if I can get back into. I can't get back into that. Yeah, I may need you on the text line. Emails. This is from John. It says Bronco Alford. Look, he hasn't left yet. Now he may not. He's up there interviewing. I think he's told UNM he's just going up to look around and see what it's about. He says, I'm not in any way surprised by this at all, but still say it's as pathetic as the Alford press conferences. He gives absolute credence to what I've been saying and getting shot down for years. If we are just going to be a stepping stone, then start paying like a stepping stone. Just admit who we are and accept it and start acting like who we are instead of going all in only to be slapped in the face yet again. Find the up-and-coming coach, pay them a minimum rate for a mid-major coach, and know he's going to leave at the first taste of success. Pay the up-and-comer and save the money and give Pitino more, or who comes on to coach the men's team because Pitino will leave if he gets too successful here too. It's really pathetic that this guy's doing this. It's pretty obvious that he's leaving and he needs to be run out of town with torches and pitchforks. Just pathetic. And before you ask why pay for a basketball coach that's going to do the same, it's because basketball is easier to turn around, and it's the moneymaker here. It's not the okay. We've had this conversation with John, and we're just going to disagree. But basically, John's on this is going to happen, but when it happens to basketball, it's okay. Because we get more people, the pit's more full than the stadium. Never mind how much television revenue and all the other revenue that goes with basketball or with football. All right, 505-246-0610. My phone's going nuts. I think yours is too. Again, this is I don't know what the hell happened to my like what did I hit here, dude? It doesn't matter. Yeah, I know you've been. I'll find. Keep sending me the texts, and JJ, maybe you've got access to it, but for whatever reason, I do not. And we can hit it. All right, 9:10. We're going to give away a jersey. We will do the 12 jerseys of Christmas from our friends at All In Autographs. You'll have another opportunity to get in on that, and I will get back to that text line. I promise you. Even if I have to pull out another device. So keep those coming because they've been hot on there. Do you see them? Are you able to? All right, I'll get to them. And you get NFL tonight, right here on the Sports Animal. A good one tonight. You get the Packers and you get the Detroit Lions. An NFC North matchup between two of the top teams. What do you think the spread is? Do you know?
Lions 2.5,
3.5. They give you the field goal and the hook. Jameson Williams or DJ Moore, JJ? I'm playing Smith and Jigba. I'm riding the hot hand with him. I like Smith and Jigba. I can play them both instead of running back. I need some help. All right, 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bob.
All right, got a little problem with the text device today. So we're down, KKOB's down. Wasn't just me. So if you typically text, I can't get to them. Like it literally just went. You broke it. You guys broke the text machine. So I encourage you either to call 505-246-0610, or you can email Jeff@sportsanimalabq.com or JJ@sportsanimalabq.com. So text device is down if that's how you normally do it. Told you this morning, and a lot of reaction to it. We've learned that Bronco Mendenhall is going to interview on campus at Utah State today for the football job, the open head football job at Utah State. And JJ, look, he said on Tuesday, he was asked the first time and went on a long weave, right, about how speculation. I'm not going to speculate, and went on a long weave about the question. And when he was pressed at the end by Sean Ryder, he said, "I'm only speculated to have interviewed for that job." Well, did you or not? And then he kind of looked off to the side. He says, "I have not." What did he say? "I have not been contacted nor interviewed." Right? That's what he said.
Yes.
All right. Which probably was true at the time. Maybe his agent was. Maybe whatever. What he didn't say is, "I don't have interest. I won't interview." And just because he's interviewing doesn't mean he's going to take the job if offered. Now, I'm going to believe that Utah State would love to have him, right? The other piece of the puzzle is the timing is interesting. And if you look at Broncos' contract, which is available, if the contract is terminated by the request of the coach, which would be this, the buyout as of midnight last night dropped $1 million. Year one, it would be $3 million. Year two is $2 million. Year two began today. The contract was dated December 5 of 2023, so year two starts today. All right, 505-246-0610. Good morning, Mike. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Mike.
Call. I don't usually get to listen this long, but great show today. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Want to comment on a few things. First of all, you had a caller earlier talking about Azeez Al-Shaair for the Texans, and now he's a bad guy. They're happy to see that penalty enforced. And, I just want to restate that you've got these quarterbacks in the league that are faking slides. They do whatever they can because they're kind of an untouched player. And, the defense knows not to hit a quarterback. But do you know what quarterbacks know?
They can't get hit.
Know to slide. Go ahead.
Yeah, that they can't get hit.
Yeah, they know that they can't get hit, which is a really tough factor. But they also know slide head first. And they know to slide head first because, of course, the play stops, you still get marked down at the same spot. But when you have contact on a head first slide, you have far less chance of severe injury. When you have a feet first slide and you have any kind of contact, your upper body, which is behind you, has a chance to hit the turf, kind of a whiplash effect. So, I really am just thinking from a defensive stance, man, what do you want? You're not raising timid championship teams. They don't have timid, scared defenses, especially not in rivalry games. You know what I mean? And if you're one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league, you got a target on your back, believe it or not. Okay, so secondly, the Bronco Mendenhall thing. Look, the UNM ain't Alabama. It's not the spot where you go and you say, hey, man, I hung it up. I got here, hang the whistle up. I'm going to be here forever. It's a spot that you're looking to bound off of. Bronco Mendenhall, excellent coach for this season. But he's going to springboard out of here, and the guys that say, oh, man, you can't say those things at the podium, and, you're coming off insincere. You got to say what you got to say to get the job. I think you got to say to get the job.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's going to bother people is you're going to Utah State like there. Now, there's part of it that he's from that area. He grew up about 100 miles from there. The LDS population is something that's obviously very important to Bronco, and I think everybody would understand that. And look, when Bronco took this job a year ago yesterday, Eddie Nunez was the AD, and they were in a Mountain West that looked very different than a Mountain West looks now. He's got a different boss. The league is different. Utah State's going to the Pac. It's closer to home. If in fact, he'll probably say, look, things have changed a lot in the last year, and I gave everything to UNM, and I hope I think I made it better, but this is better for me and my family, and blah 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 blah. Right? I think that's where that conversation will go.
I mean, 100%. And I think that people that don't see that are kind of maybe blind fans or fanatics or whatever you want to call it.
I think no. Look, I'm going to give the fan here with all things Bronco said about buying in and earned and not given and commitment and all those things. After 1 year to go there, it's not Utah, it's Utah State. I think the fans here are going to feel pretty jilted, and I'm not going to argue that they shouldn't.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you there. But, I mean, that's the reality of this specific program. And the truth is the UNM basketball program and the UNM football program are completely different. That's not going to happen at UNM basketball because it's established. But I think UNM football has a bright future. Hey, my last point before I let you guys go is going back to the Brock Purdy thing.
Yeah.
And, it's like who you going to, the 49ers are that's a bloated organization. You've overpaid too many different players, especially now. You really messed up with the Brandon Ayuk paying him. And the thing about Kyle Shanahan, fantastic offensive coordinator. I don't think he's a good head coach. He's really his win record loss is really based on McCaffrey, and he's not a very good personnel guy. He's drafted all these receivers, Ricky Parasol in the first round. I don't think that was a very good pick. But
we'll see.
To come down to it, who are you going to want? You got Tua, Trevor Lawrence, or Dak Prescott. Those are 3 of the top 5 highest paid players in the NFL. Who do you want? Those guys? One of those guys? Or Brock Purdy? For me personally, I would take Brock Purdy. But that's just kind of where I stand on this. I think that the 49ers are going to have to rebuild. They're going to rebuild without McCaffrey and Williams. And I think Purdy is top 10 quarterback. That's what I'm at. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
See you. Who'd you tell me? I know. Oh, Jeff. Hey, Jeff. Good morning. You're on the Sports Channel. Hi, Jeff.
I mean, look, he's got to go. He's probably playing in the second best stadium in the conference. They're going to leave the conference to supposedly a better conference. He's probably 100 miles, like you said, away from his home. His faith is obviously a big deal with this, and so he's going to be a part of the LDS community in the state where it's prominent. And I would be surprised if he doesn't. Does it mean that I'm not upset about it? Of course, because we're starting to see something with the football program that we hadn't seen in a long time. But if you put yourself in his position, I mean, it is what it is. And I want to finish with this because I've said this a few times. Our state refusing to make an investment in our stadium is a big deal. We are arguably maybe right above Hawaii in terms of the worst stadium in the conference as far as being outdated and needing a lot of improvements or a complete rebuild. It's not only the kids that want to see a commitment to that stuff or see the bright and shiny new stuff. It's coaches and staffs. You want to see something that's not just going to, be for the players to play in, but you want to see something that pops in terms of, modern technology and being able to have big events there and stuff. And the complete refusal of our state to make any kind of meaningful investment in rebuilding a stadium or completely renovating that stadium is actually hurting this program. And I know it doesn't mean that if we rebuild a stadium, we're going to be, the Texas Longhorns, but it does mean that we have something more to offer than just trying to sell the kids on the coaching. We've got all the bells and whistles. So I totally expect Bronco to take that job if he's really interviewing for it. Wish him the best. He did a great thing for us. The only thing that's going to make me sad is I fear we're going to have a mass exodus of players.
Yeah, I think that's right, too. All right, man. Thanks. Yeah, look. If he takes the job, if he's offered the job, now obviously they're pretty serious, right? They're up there. They've got him up there. If he's offered the job and will he take it? I mean, let me ask you this: how hard should UNM counter? Because I think this is there an opportunity? Should UNM come back and say, "All right, what do you need?" And I don't know. You guys could tell me, hell no. I mean, if he's up there, he's got to go or whatever. But you look at his total compensation package, JJ, in what is it, 1.2 or whatever the number is? If in fact he comes back and says they're giving me, I don't know what the number's going to be. How much, how hard, how important is it to counter and get this thing up to wherever it needs to be, if you can even keep him, and then go through this again next year and the year after and the year after?
Yeah, is this a who wants to see potentially concrete plans on football investment in facility upgrades? I know he mentioned keeping everyone there. Does that raise the coaching salary pool for his assistants? So yeah, all these things are on the table, and it is absolutely frustrating after 1 year with everything that Bronco Mendenhall said and the team bought into to get to the point where in the final game of the season they were playing for bowl eligibility, that you're in this situation wondering, are you going to have to do more to keep him after one season? And for football, I think that whether or not that keeps Bronco mendenhall here, everything that Jeff said is stuff we've talked about for so long, man. If this is going to be what you have in this state, outside of the minor league sports we have, states are invested in their Division I universities, then there absolutely needs to be more investment to the Division I universities in this state.
And it's probably not about money. And I think that's right. All right. We got another jersey box to give away. A mystery box from All In Autographs. Caller 4 right now at 505-246-0610. Remember, the text line's down. And I know I saw the content. I was starting to read through all your texts. It's down. You guys broke it. Ours is down. KKOB's is down. You can hit me on email, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. You can call the show 505-246-0610. That is the number, caller 4 right now. 505-246-0610, caller number 4. And you will win the mystery jersey from All In Autographs and your good friend JJ Buck at 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Like And shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burkia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action.
And he did a really nice job, and you went 5-7. Let me. And this is not to demean anything Bronco did, okay? I'm going to try to talk you a little bit off the ledge if he leaves. That it's over, that now will Devin Dampier, Luke Wysong, Eli Sanders, will they all jump in the portal? Yeah, maybe. And maybe even probably. What was your record this year, 5-7? What were you last year? You were 4-8, right? You beat Fresno State on the road at the end. You were getting better and fired your coach, right?
Here's the thing, Jeff.
No, go.
You finally got people to believe and start to buy in. It has nothing to do about, well, you were only one game better. Like, people were done with football.
Okay.
And even with the buy-in, the vibe around that team, even the last couple home games, wasn't great.
The year previous.
No, this year.
This year, yeah.
Like, that Washington State game, I was like, really?
Yeah, why is nobody here?
Like,
yeah.
Why is no one at this football game?
Yeah.
The way everyone's been talking about Bronco Mendenhall in this football program.
Yeah.
And so the little gains that you had, getting people to go, okay, there's something here. We got a good coach. He believes in us. And if he leaves, man, that's going to be twice as hard to get those people back.
Fair. No, totally fair. Where I wanted to go with this is it can be done. Right. So for everybody who's, can't be done, you gotta get a low rent coach and pay the minimum and football's nothing. We just have to, whatever. It can be done. There was some excitement around football. You got a good coach in here who made people believe and was starting to turn it around and may continue to start to turn it around. He's not out the door, a parentheses yet. I don't know if he's going or not. All right. But my point is, I've been telling you for years, I saw it done before. And you're going to tell me that was a whole nother generation. And you might be right. Right? I talked to George Carter and some of those guys about when they played. And Dontrell Moore tells you stories about 20 years ago when they were filling that place. And it was done. And they were competitive. So why can't it be done again? All of you were saying there needs to be an investment in football, in facilities, in budget, whether it comes from the state level. And you need help. You're all right. All of you were right. Was the ball dropped somewhere? Yeah, and we're going to get into why, right? Was it a marketing issue? Was it a budgeting? Whatever it is, okay? All that's right. My point is, if nothing else, Bronco proved that it can start to be done. Now, do you have to start all over again if he leaves? Are you going to lose key pieces in the portal? I mean, you're hearing what I'm hearing. Yeah, you probably will. right? Who'd you tell me was here? 505-246-0610. Jacob, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Jacob. Jacob.
Yeah, I've been listening and hearing about Bronco, and it's a sad day. I've been a huge Lobo fan forever, and I hear all these callers talking about we need new facilities. You're absolutely right, but it's time for Lobo fan to look at themselves and realize that's why we have no new facilities. If you're going to have new facilities, you got to have fans in the stadium. We have a stadium right now that holds almost 40,000, and we're lucky to get 15 at a game. I'm a season ticket holder, and it's sad to look around at empty seats every game. You had that emailer that said, basketball's the moneymaker. That's the problem with Albuquerque. Basketball doesn't make the money. It's football. We need to put money into football by getting out, supporting those boys. That's why Rocky left. That's why Danny couldn't be successful. It's going to come back to Lobo fan. That's all I got.
Appreciate you. Would Lobo fan be more apt to go to a new facility? And I asked you that, and I remember when Isotopes Park opened, people flocked to it. And they've been going for 20-plus years because the place is really nice to go to. The Isotopes put out a good product. Now you go because the facility's kind of fun. Now, I know it's different. I'm well aware college football is different than summertime baseball. I'm well aware. But I look, the facility is an issue. And you guys, I know people push back on me for years. Just the getting in and out, your concession opportunities. UNM maximizes what they can do with that facility, right? It's a stadium that was built in the early 60s that hasn't been updated much. You ended at End Zone Club and you closed in that north end zone, but the concourses are still what they are. Your concession points are still what they are. You got, like, when you look at the design, and I've told you this a million times, every stadium you go to, you can get in and out of that place 360 degrees around the stadium, right? There's gates. Well, half of the stadium, 180 degrees of it, you really can't, right? You got a soccer stadium on one side and you got a road and a club on the other. Like, everybody goes in through those two gates. Yeah, it does. You want to sit in a seat or a bench? Do you want to, the lack of premium seating, the lack of concession options? They do a great job with what they've got. They really do. But all of you have been talking about, the money and the commitment. And if this happens, and again, Bronco hasn't left. We could sit here on Sunday or Monday or tomorrow or whatever, and Utah State can announce somebody else. And Bronco comes back, right? And you continue, and you got a signing class that you signed 10 guys yesterday, and maybe a lot of these guys don't go in the portal, right? And you're moving on, you feel good, or do you? Or are you just going to wait for the next one to fall, right?
You're going to have a different feeling as a Lobo fan because you thought that this was going to be a longer-term commitment from Bronco Mendenhall. Earned, not given, bring back some tradition to Lobo football. And after year one, and I get it, you can play the other side of it. Well, it isn't the same conference he signed up for. It's different leadership in the athletic department. All that's true, but you're still going to feel jilted as a Lobo fan and just be sitting there going, well, if they're able to get to a bowl game next year, does that even open up a bigger opportunity for them?
I don't know. I don't know how you're going to feel. All right, 505-246-0610. Again, the emails are down. So if you want to get in, give us a call, or you can I'm sorry, the text line's down. The text line's down. So if you want to get in, call us at 505-246-0610, or send me an email, jeff@sportsanimalabq.com. Larry sent me this. It says, Hefe and JJ, if Bronco leaves for another opportunity this fast, there's a lot of blame to spread around. The state government has not invested. The university overall has not invested. Making most of improvements, including pit renovation, be paid back by the department. Did the engineering department pay for their new building on main campus? If they did, then I apologize. And lastly, our community. We need more ride or die fans. I think the lack of state money and main campus money sends the message to the community that athletics don't really matter, despite the reality that athletics are the biggest marketing department they could hope for. State government has enough financial resources to help UNM, NMSU, Eastern, Western Highlands, NIMI. Until mindset changes and commitment changes, we will lag behind. Same goes for 505 Sports Ventures. If they don't get enough support, we'll be left behind. I honestly don't believe Bronco's driven by money. He's driven by commitments that match his. I got a number of stuff that people are saying, this isn't about money. And I think that's probably right. I don't know that Utah State's going to come in with an offer that's just going to wow him and that you're going to be able to say, you know what, we'll give you more and keep you here. I don't think he's driven by money. I don't. I think it's going to be situation. 505-246-0610. Again, text lines down, emails or calls this morning, 505-246-0610 or Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. Take your car over to On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Oh, wait, don't take it to them. Have On the Spot Automotive Detailing take their mobile unit to you and detail your vehicle. That's what they do with award-winning services. Unparalleled convenience with their mobile auto detailing service in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. What does that mean? They come to you and detail your vehicle. Detailing is what the auto dealers do. Remember when you got your car, you drove it off the lot, it felt brand new, smelled brand new, looked brand new? You can have that without having to get a brand new car. On the Spot Automotive Detailing comes to you. So while you're in the office working, they're outside the parking lot working as well. You go outside, everybody's staring at it going, how can I get this? You call otsdetailing.com. That's what you do. You just go to otsdetailing.com and you can book and buy there. Paint protection film, auto window tinting, ceramic professional coating, tail and headlight tint, chrome detail, whatever it is you want, they will take. Look, your vehicle is one of your biggest investments. Take care of your vehicle. It's a great gift as well. It's all online. Go look at them. It's On the Spot Automotive Detailing at otsdetailing.com, otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque
9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
All right, let's go. 505-246-0610. Emails this morning, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. Apologies, but the text line is down. Y'all broke it. Ours is down, and KKOB's is down, and I mean, they're all down. Wait, I got Robert on one. Is that what you told me? Robert, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Robert.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, I agree with that text that you just read. Until the state and the university are serious about bringing more people and more money, putting more money into the facilities, nothing is really going to change. How old is that stadium? Like 50 years old?
Yeah, it was built in the early 60s, late 50s. I think it's older than almost all of us.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. People just don't really want to go watch those games. The stadium is antiquated. There's really nothing there to draw the people. There's nothing exciting about the stadium. I just think that's the first step is to go ahead and knock that old stadium down and rebuild the stadium. And as a coach, would you rather coach in front of 8,000 people or 80,000 people?
Of course.
Not only as a coach, but as a player. They don't want to come here. There's really no good reason for them to come here. These college athletes want to play in front of big crowds. They don't want to play in high school. They probably, a lot of them got more crowd or more fans than they're seeing here at UNM.
So what you're saying is that you need a commitment to the stadium, Robert. I mean, that's what you're saying is this facility at some point needs to be paid some attention.
Yeah, and I feel sorry for you too, as the in that New Mexico Bowl. You go through this every year. You have these lines waiting for people. And can you tell us why it took so long for you to get people into the stadium at that last bowl game? Was it the magnetometer?
I don't know. I just know everybody tried to get in at the last minute, and everybody went to the two gates, right? And so.
Well, why are only two gates open?
No, they're not. You got gates open on the west side. You got a gate open on that southeast side. Now you got nothing because you got the soccer stadium. But people
didn't know about those gates.
But they're always open. Yeah, they're always open.
Somehow you need to let them know.
Yeah, fair enough, Robert.
I mean, in a way, it's your fault for not.
I'll take the hit.
Not letting them know.
I'll take the hit.
Again, you're working with a stadium that's 50 years old. It's not your fault. I mean, you do what you can, but even to get a hot dog, it's a problem. So anyway, keep up the good work, and I'll stay in touch.
Thank you, Robert. Yeah, I'll take the hit on it.
That is so Sports Animal and Jeff Symbieta of you.
Fred, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Fred.
Hey, it's your fault, Jeff.
I'm good with it. I'm okay with it.
Hey, you're not going to believe it, but one of the worst things that they don't have at the football stadium.
In the toilet?
I've lost probably 40 of my friends because there's no railing, and they can't walk up the steps anymore. They're in their 70s and 80s, and so they don't go to games anymore. And I mean, I have a hard time. Luckily, I'm in the first row on the second level. I don't have to go up any steps. But I mean, you ought to see these older people crawling up on their hands onto the. I mean, it's just silly. And I lost them all, everybody. And they were all big Lobo fans too. And then the thing that concerns me is, if he leaves, we're going to lose all the coaches. You know that for sure because they're all his coaches. We're going to lose the new recruits. We're going to lose a lot of our players because it's so easy for people to leave now. It's not like in the past where you had to leave, sit out a year. You don't have to do anything.
Yep. And you're behind in recruiting because whoever's going to come in isn't going to be here for another 2 to 3 weeks, unless they just promote Jason Beck. If Bronco leaves, if he's offered the job, and again, for those of you just joining, Bronco Mendenhall is going to interview at Utah State up in Logan today for the football job. So, Fred, you're behind. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the call. I got this. How did one text come through? Is there somebody here? No. My hope is that Bronco's making noise, but ultimately stays at New Mexico at UNM. By heading out to an interview, I find that it will be beneficial for him to advocate and negotiate for UNM and his coaches. In order for him to have the success that we want, we will and should pay his coaches more. His offensive coach is a gem, and they may be a package deal. If Bronco goes, he may go. Hope they stay. It's from JVS. How did I get like one? I got like one text came through. I don't even understand. All right, 505-246-0610. JJ, let me ask you this. You're the athletic director. You've been in your office. You probably haven't opened your box yet. You're still figuring out.
Where can I get some coffee this morning? Should I try a breakfast burrito?
Oh, I hear those are good.
Green?
Red or
Let's
green?
Get both. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just found where the toilet is in the office. Just still trying to figure out your passwords to get into. I know.
I need how many authenticators to get into my email?
Yeah. I mean, you're on the phone with your head coach saying, what do I got to do, right? Like, I got it, man. Good. Enjoy your stay up there. I hope you have a great day. But know that we want you here. And you know, I'm not going to know for sure what exactly, you know, Broncos alluded to what his priorities are from the university, right? He's talked about investment in facilities. He said on our air Monday this week, and then remember I circled those 3 words and I came back to it because we were talking about resources and we were talking about players and NIL, and he says, and the coaches, right? And I remember writing that down. We came back in the next segment, and the coaches. That's a priority. Taking in that last text just said, taking care of the coaches. I know it's important to him to take care of his people. Somebody sent me a text this morning. I don't remember who it was. I got a million of them. That said, I don't believe it's about money to Bronco. I think that's right. You know, he's compensated. He knows he's compensated well. I think he's probably a pretty smart dude. I think he's good. I mean, nobody doesn't like more money. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think this is all about money. If, in fact, that last text is right, that this is a negotiation ploy, that he's saying, hey, to keep me here, we need to do A, B, C, and D to the stadium, to the facility, to the program, to the commitment, I'm actually okay with it. If, in fact, that's the case. I'm actually kind of okay with it.
But can you do that without being in Logan, Utah? Or is
I'm sure you can. I'm sure there's a lot of ways to do it. Yeah, I'm sure you can. It's a pretty impactful way to do it.
Yeah, that's. This is. I think this is more than just playing. Well, need to make UNM step up.
But because what you're saying is, would you really play Utah State like that? Right? Would you say, "Hey, I'm interested. Yeah, fly me up there. I'll interview." I mean, I'm going to guess if he's on campus and interviewing,
like NIL money to visit.
Right. Yeah, right. I'm going to guess if he's on campus and interviewing today, which he is on campus and interviewing today, that he's seriously considering that position. And again, he didn't lie to you, I don't think. When Sean asked him on Tuesday at the press conference, have you been contacted by or interviewed with Utah State? He said, no, I've only been speculated to. And then he was asked again, and he kind of looked off to the side, and he said, I have not been contacted or interviewed. Now, Sean didn't follow up, or nor did anybody else in the room. Follow up by saying, would you interview if contacted? Do you have interest? I mean, he didn't, he answered the question that he was asked. I got no problem with it. He didn't say, I have no interest. I won't have any interest. I wouldn't. No. He didn't say none of my, my agent, nobody. He answered the question that was asked, right? So, but again, it's going to be an interesting 48 hours, I think, 24 to 48. Because we have learned that Bronco is on campus today at Utah State interviewing for the job up there. And, the portal opens on Monday. And again, if you're just joining us, the another interesting piece to the puzzle is the timing. And his contract is public record. You can find it. But as far as a buyout, if he leaves, the buyout in the first year of the deal is $3 million. You're like, okay, $3 million. No. Because the first year of the deal ended at midnight last night. So it dropped to $2 million. So it dropped $1 million at 12:01 today. Contract was executed or was effective December 5, 2023. It is now December 5, 2024. So, all right, we'll wrap it up. You still have time to get in. Again, our text line is down, I think. I mean, it's like...
It was updating.
So is it
they went
still...
through an update, like, right smack dab.
Is it still updating? Like, why do I get one... whatever. Emails jeff@sportsanimalabq.com, or you can call it 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is Boomer.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove.
Is very prevalent in Utah and in the Cache Valley. So people are saying, why there? Why? I'm not telling you he's leaving. I'm just telling you he's up there for the interview. So, all right, 505-246-0610. Again, the text line, man, oh man, what a wrong day for the text line to go down, JJ. Because
what a day for them to update it.
Yeah, how about that?
Like, we're going to make this easier.
So that's what they decided. We're going to update it today.
Yes.
Every time I re-click though, I get a new one. So, it says, Jeff, JJ, good morning, fellas. Bronco Mendenhall will go to Utah for the job. Who will be the new head coach is a matter of concern for sure, but the next year is going to be worth being concerned with our UNM Lobo football. That's from John. I see what they did here with the update. It's a totally different format. I don't like it.
It's based on feedback.
I really got to
read. This will update automatically.
I really don't like this at all. All right, what do you got here? Frank, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Frank.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? I came up with an idea. It's only an idea, but I was thinking maybe knocking down that 1920 Tingley Coliseum and maybe building a 20-seat arena, multi-purpose. Move the Ty Murray in there.
Dude, I've been saying that for years. That's the spot for an arena. Yeah, I've been saying that for years, and now the governor came out this week, and they want to do something there, and I'm hoping that's what they decide to do. I mean, that would have been the spot for an arena and a soccer stadium. You got tons of land right there. Build around that. You bring the two vibrant areas of Albuquerque together, Uptown and Nob Hill. You got access. You can actually, there's mass transit. The ART runs by there. You got freeway access. You got parking. Like that. I've been saying that for years.
And then, maybe we can get some NCAA tournaments back here, have some NBA exhibitions, get the money flowing in, and then maybe when that's done, the Lobos can play there and then build a new stadium.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, man.
Thanks,
Frank. Yeah, I've been saying that. I mean, how long I've been singing that song? Since you've known me? It's been, how long we known
what
each
they're
other?
going to do.
Yeah. All right. So this update, I got to figure out how to work this thing. It says, hello, Jeff. All is not lost. Don't blame Bronco Mendenhall for wanting to get more money, if that's what it comes down to. But if this means that the godfather of Lobos football, The Rock, comes home to finish the rebuild, then that's a win-win. Also, why go back where he coached at a superior program at BYU? But it comes down to not wanting to be part with $1 million based off of the timing. So he wants Rocky back, is what I'm gathering out of that. Okay. I think I already gave you this. Man, you guys came in big today. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your text. Like literally this reboot. Mud says, I'm just like the next guy, but it's free. I'll enjoy it no matter who's calling the game. He was talking about the Mountain West Network. This one says, it's from Mud as well. He says, if Rob and Hunter are wetting their pants, they need Dependos. And we had a caller earlier that said Mountain West Network, he was watching the game. He wants neutral announcers and not the local announcers who, in his words, wet their pants. Okay. When did it become okay to trash your team and not credit your opponent? Tim Miles, the head coach of San Jose State, is one hell of a coach, and he's had a year to adjust this roster. This is not the San Jose State team of the past. They will be a factor in the league before the season ends. Also, I know what you know, and the buyout dropping from $3 million to $2 million definitely affects the timing of announcements, which includes key pieces. Saturday should be fun. That's on the text line as well. All right. Do with the info what you know. It's going to be interesting to watch over the next, JJ, I think 24 hours, right? I mean, when we sit here tomorrow morning, tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah.
When we hoe tomorrow, do we get to hoe tomorrow? I feel like I haven't hoed in forever. We hoe on Friday still, right?
Yes, we do.
Have I just been gone? Did we hoe last week?
I think so.
All right.
Well,
we didn't. That's
it was
why.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was Thanksgiving. I had a hoe by myself. I was sitting at home and just hoe. I just screamed out a big old hoe. All right, you're going to join me over. After the show, I know you like to listen to these sports. I'm going over KRST. We're doing a big radiothon for St. June's. So, what's the frequency of KRST? Do you know? Well, you can tell me out loud. 92.3. Stigler's here. He mouthed it. His name is Scott. The other day, have you ever called him Scott?
No.
All right. What happens when we're sitting here 24 hours from now? What's the story? Tomorrow's headlines today.
All right, Jason McIntyre.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I know nobody wants to jump off. It's so easy just because we know that he's up there to assume that it's a done deal, and I understand why. I mean, why would he go up there if he's not interested, right? We'll see. We will see. Appreciate all the contribution today, and when we know more, I'll let Fred and Van know if we know more. The afternoon show, these 2 men on coming up at 4:00, and listen to KKLB. We'll update them throughout the day if we hear anything. Thank you to Jerry Palm, CBSSports.com or CBS Sports. He was with us today. The Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning. We will start at 7 a.m. Thank you to all the contributions today, your texts, your calls, your emails. Adrian, great job on the visuals. JJ, crazy day. Big day for you?
Huge day.
All right, watch where you're going. Enjoy your day. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit International Protective Service